Okay, so my sophomore year, this is when I had that brief stint of dropping out of school when before Coach Fernandez kind of rescued me back in, and I was my friends Tony and Gordon. It was right in front of that house where I got in that sparring that fight with those guys when I was my freshman year, and I pull up my Jeep, and they just told me that these two guys just came up and pulled guns on him, and they ran in the house, and they told me they were driving a silver Camaro, and so me and my friend Zach, we were just gonna drive home. So it was like it was. Well, I live like a mile. My dad lived like a mile from there. So we were driving, and I see these two guys walking, and he was looking at me. I'm like, "What the fuck you looking at?" And then I see they're walking from a silver Camaro, and so they're walking up to Tony and Gordon. So I think they're gonna go shoot Tony and Gordon. So I drive around the block to go warn Tony and Gordon, and they get back in their car. And so when we're driving, I come around, like, say the house is right here, and they're coming in the car right here, and I'm coming in my Jeep right here, and I see it's them, and there's a grade school right across, like right as I'm driving by, and they get in the oncoming lane as me, so I had to pull over, like pull into the bus lane, and pull out, and then I'm driving, and I hear pop 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 pop. I'm like, the fuck is that? And then all of a sudden, I feel something burn by my face, blows my mirror out, blows my windshield out. And then my friend Zach gets hit in the back. Boom, I get hit in the back. And I mean, thank God it hit off the spring and went down, and hit into just got in the muscle about that much. Didn't would have went right through the lung. And I mean, they were 9 millimeters. They weren't huge guns, but but they unloaded two clips in there. And so but they turned back around, and my Jeep probably did about 65 miles an hour, and so I'm driving down. It was driving down Terrebonne, that where my dad lived, and there was a busy street, 59th Avenue, and these guys were driving in a fast car. And then there's a stop sign because it's a busy street. It's probably like 6 at night, and I did not even hit the brakes. Just boom, jumped over. I mean, I could have smashed into cars, but these guys were firing, and they started getting off two shots again. Boom, boom. And I'm in a bikini top, so I'm waiting for one to just hit me in the head or something. So we go over this, they stop, and then I pull into my house and jump out, and then like, oh my God. We run and tell my dad. My dad comes out with a shotgun, and they know where I live and stuff. So we call the police. We go to the hospital. My friend Zach gets looked at, and it's not really bad, gunshot. But thanks, because it hit the spring, and they had the seats in my truck, my Jeep. They were kind of lifted up, and they were really, really comfortable. So it had a bunch of springs in them, and so it hit it and angled down, and it just it hit us in different spots, but it just kind of wasn't superficial. You had to close the wound up, but it wasn't like my leg or something. And so they end up arresting the guys like 3 weeks later, and one of the guy did. My friend Zach's parents moved him to Indiana because they were looking for us for like 3 weeks, and the guy was in jail. He was calling me from prison, threatening me, and I was telling the prosecutor that, and like, we can't find the logs on it, but he was using somebody else's phone card, so he did. So I had to go to court and tell them what happened. He got sentenced 10 years for. That's a double attempted murder. Which he had a felony. So I thought it was mandatory life sentence. 20 years. So he gets 10 years. So I didn't really care. It wasn't like, if it was my son, I would have been. I went by myself. My dad didn't go with me. So anyways, years later I was training, and the guy who shot me walks in, and I look at him like, "You motherfucker," and he's like, because I've been to prisons for from going to the academy, and prisons don't rehabilitate people. They just make people worse. So this guy's like, he didn't know I was there. He's like, "Joe, I'm sorry." He goes, I've watched you. I watched your fights in prison. Congratulations. I'm sorry to know you're here. I'll leave. And then I was blown away by the kind of way he reacted. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, I'm sorry about everything. I'll leave. So I mean, seemed to be, you seemed to be genuine and all that stuff. So that was easier to let go. So, but yeah, I almost got smoked that night. I was lucky.